Welcome to this edition of the Fire Marshal's Corner. I'm your host, Richard Blankenship. Yes, folks, it's that time of the year for summer. It means the pool is going to be open. And today I have two special guests here with me from the Parks and Rec. I have Susie Keys and Danny Miller. And we're going to talk about some things about pool safety, things you should do or not do at the pool. The biggest thing is we want you to have a good summer, have a lot of fun at the pool, but we want you to do it and be safe. We don't want nobody hurt. Again, I thank both of you for coming back because you were here last year. And I said, why not bring the same group back? Because y'all know what's going on. So Memorial Day is this weekend coming up. When's the pool open?
Pool's actually open this year. We are open on Saturday, May 26th, so you can get a couple of days of extra swimming in before Memorial Day. Our hours on Saturday are from 12 until 8 p.m. and Sunday is the same, and hopefully weather related that we can open pools Memorial Day from 12 to 8 also.
Now, with school in session still, I guess the hours are different than they will be when they're out of school?
They do. We follow what PG County goes by, so until June 20th will be when our pools actually open full-time, which will be every day at Main Street Pool is 12 until 8. Also Greenview, except for Monday at Greenview, we have a little delayed opening because we do a cleaning every Mondays. So it's 2 to 8, and Main Street Cleaning Day is on a Tuesday. So hours are 2 to 8. Before that, the pools just open from 4 p.m. until 8 p.m. until PG County schools are out.
Now, is there a way that I can find out if I wanted to get a pass? Where would I go to get a pass for myself or for my family?
You can go actually to the best either of the pools is probably the best place to go. And you can sign up again for a full season pass, individual. For a family, you can get a monthly pass, or you can also pay a daily admission and come in and just pay that daily rate to come and use our pools. It is probably the only public pool in Laurel, so it's great that everybody from far and near, a lot of our public pools in Maryland are starting to close, so we get people from all around Maryland.
So if I live like in Howard County, just across the bridge, is there a different price for me, or would it be the same if I lived in the city?
There is a little different of a charge. If you are a City of Laurel resident,
Okay.
you do pay a lower fee, and then a non-resident fee is usually, it could be maybe 50 cents or $1 more.
Oh, that's not too bad then.
No.
That's good. So, and the pools get cleaned at least weekly?
The pools are cleaned on a daily basis. They are skimmed, and if anything else needs to be cleaned in them, tiles done. There is a thorough cleaning done in both pools once a week, that all cartridges are emptied and hosed out, all tiles are done. Anything pool related is a big clean once a week.
Now, both of you all work for Parks and Rec. What is your job with Parks? What do you do with the pools?
We oversee the daily operations of the pools, make sure everything's running the way it should.
Now, you guys got to go back and forth between the two pools?
I do a lot of running between both pools.
Is there any stipulation, so if I want to go jump off the diving board compared to if I just want to be in the swim, is there anything I got to go through to do that?
Children to 12 years old have to pass our swim test.
Oh yeah, what is that? What is it?
It's literally if you do want to be able to swim in our deeper water. So we have at Main Street, we have a diving well. It's 13 feet where we have a diving board and a slide. So, and also a lap pool there. And at Greenview, we do have a slide. So in order to be able to use any of those extras and swim in the deeper water, you have to go through a test. So it's more or less your parent or guardian fill out a permission slip for you, and one of our lifeguards or managers will come and test you. You have to be able to swim 2 lengths of the pool, showing, an overarm stroke that you can swim. And as soon as the 2 lengths of the pool are done, you have to be able to tread water for a full minute.
Oh,
And once you're able to do that, you get a little red band that you can keep all summer long with the year and your name on it, which means you can come in, and once the lifeguards and our managers see that, you can swim in any of the areas in the pool.
now the lifeguards check all that every day when people come in?
They do. They know to look on the wrist for anyone that's coming up that looks young enough that they have to have the swim test, and they will check. And if they don't have that, they will ask the age first and make sure that if they are young, that they need to go and take the test.
Now, you guys don't allow parents to drop the kids off, do you? And say, you know, if you're 10 years old, and we'll come back and pick you up in 2 hours?
Actually, we do have a policy in there. If the child is 10 or younger, they have to be accompanied by someone 16 years or older. But as an 11-year-old, you actually can't come into the pool by yourself.
Now, as far as your lifeguards, do you have a lot of them returning that have been there before?
We do. Yeah.
We have a lot of returning. We have a lot of new.
Now, what do you have to be a lifeguard?
They have to pass the Red Cross lifeguard certification class.
Is that, how many hours is something like that?
72 hours.
Wow.
It is. It's a lot, and it depends on the class you take. A lot of the lifeguards trying to take their class will either get it usually a Friday night as a pre-test to make sure you pass, and then they'll do it all day Saturday, all day Sunday. Other kids, if they're doing it when school is still in session, they might do it over a 2-week period, 3 or 4 hours, maybe 4 or 5 times a week.
So they can do all the training right there then?
It's classroom and in the pool.
Yeah, and first
Now,
aid.
is that something that the city pays for these people, or something you got to pay for yourself?
No, every lifeguard goes and takes their own class.
Oh, okay.
We have a class that they can sign up for.
Now, is all your lifeguards trained in CPR, AED, first aid and stuff like that?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh. Now, I understand, I do believe that there is AEDs at the pool.
Yes, each pool has AEDs.
And I guess they go through a recert every year for that?
Yes.
Now, what kind of safety things that you guys look for? You know,
We have a whistle system in place for people. They might not know what the whistles mean, but they're all for safety. If you hear one blast, if a lifeguard does one blast of a whistle, they're trying to get a patron's attention to say walk, or don't hang on the basketball hoop, or other safety rules that they've seen that they need to address. If you hear a lifeguard do 2 blasts of a whistle, that means they need to get a manager's attention, and the manager will come out of the office and go to the chair and see what the lifeguard needs. And then if there's 3 blasts of the whistle, that means that one of our lifeguards is making a save and helping someone out of the water.
now, do we have many of them every year at the pool?
Not major, knock on wood.
Yeah.
It's more or less kids going down the slide, like at Greenview, the slide, once you enter the water, you become disoriented.
Oh, when you go under, yeah.
And sometimes just helping them with that. The biggest thing is just know your depth of water that you're going into and your swimming ability, especially adults. That some adults might not know how to swim, but will want to go off the diving board and jump into 13 feet of water. And
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that don't know how to swim.
just understanding the depth of water that you're jumping into is very helpful for people to.
Yeah, I can remember as a kid, I grew up in Savage before I moved to Laurel, and my sister took us to the old Laurel swimming pool one time, and I couldn't wait to get in. First thing I did is jump in the water, and not knowing that, hey, you're in the deep end there, buddy, and you couldn't touch bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And thank God the lifeguard was there and pulled me out. She goes, you need to go down that end of the pool where you can stand up. But I mean, I had no clue. I just, down I went. I'll never forget that fellow would be 100 years old. I can remember like yesterday. But it is good that we have, our people are trained, and you got some kind of system in place to make sure, and hopefully everybody understands. That's why we're doing the show. So hopefully people will listen to this and go, okay, I can get a permit here. If I hear the whistles blow, I know this. Do you actually, like you said, if you hit it twice, maybe you need to get the manager. Is that because the person that you did the first time not listening?
It could be someone's not listening to a rule, or maybe they saw a return plate on the bottom of the pool has come off, and they need and that needs to be fixed, or something with the water. I mean, the lifeguards. There's no one that looks at the water more than the lifeguards, so they can tell if there's an issue with the water.
Now, I notice,
Visually.
a lot of times they sit on the stands. Now, do you have other lifeguards just walking around at the same time? Or
We do. We have different stations and chairs set up for the lifeguards, and depending how busy the pools are, will depend on what chairs need to be filled. This year we're very fortunate that we have at least 6 Rove guards, which are not quite old enough to be lifeguards, but they have to go and get the lifeguard certification, and they can be 15. So they're actually not allowed to sit in a lifeguard chair, but they can watch the slide area, they can walk on the catwalks, or they can guard like the baby pools. So we do have a lot of those that will be more walking around. But again, if the pools are very busy on weekends or holidays, if the weather is good, we will have lifeguards in every chair, and guards walk as well.
now, is that how you get some of your new people when they're 15 and they do that and they just move up?
Yes.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
good. At least they know the system and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What are some other safety things that they should be paying attention to?
If you're an adult or a child that can't swim, we have life vests that we can fit you with. You would just come to the office and request the life vest and give us your ID is like a deposit. That way we get our life vest back. But anybody can come to our guard offices and request a life vest. The life vests are all U.S. Coast Guard certified, which is a requirement.
Yeah, and a lot of people sometimes they want to bring in floaties or little boats or unicorns that their kids are floating around in. Unfortunately, they are not allowed in the pools, but there always is, like Danny said, a life vest to offer anybody,
if you let
which is
that
much
happen,
safer.
It'd be loaded with those things. I can
It
only
would.
imagine. I mean,
Yeah.
people would bring floaties in there and stuff like that, or the things to sit on, just relax a little bit. And there's and I know the 9th Street pool, there's 3 different pools. You got a great big one and a long one and then a little short one. Now, what's the big one for everybody?
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's
the
what,
big
like
one is
4 or 5 feet deep?
It's 3 feet on both ends, and the middle goes to 4 feet.
Oh, okay.
And then we have our lap well, which is just we have a 1 lane reserved always for adults, and the other 2 lanes, again, if you can swim. Laps, that is 6 feet.
I believe it's 6.5.
And then we have the diving well, which is 13 feet. And on Main Street, we also have a little baby wading pool, which is low and has a little mushroom in there for them to run under and have some fun. Then at Greenview, our other facility, it has 1 main swimming area. It's, I guess, roped off, which has a more shallow end for the younger kids can stay in that area. And also there is another baby wading pool in a separate area there as well.
Now, do you all have anything in place, like say my kids wanted to have a pool party? Do you have anything like that I can rent?
There's pavilions. There's pavilions at each facility that can be rented out through our office, the rental specialist. And I think it's 60 guests. You get wristbands, so your guests can get a wristband, and we know that they're with the party at the pavilion.
But they can't bring any kind of gas grills or
No.
anything like that in
No.
to cook?
They can bring food in, anything they want.
There's a grill at Greenview that we provide that they can cook.
Oh, is that right? Oh, didn't know that. That's good. Any one they got any other suggestions that people need to pay attention to, or?
Just watch out for each other in the pool. I mean, there's never enough eyes on the water.
I can only imagine.
And just everybody's there to have a good time, and just listens to the lifeguards, the managers, and it's going to be a good summer.
Because I know in the fire service, when I worked in the fire service, a supervisor can only imagine, 5 people at a time and sitting up in that chair looking at all of them people. Good Lord Almighty. It's
Yeah.
understandable sometimes,
It's a big responsibility for them.
Yeah, it's got to be. Well, I appreciate you two coming back again this year, giving our insight to the people, what's going on at these 2 pools, and hopefully they'll pay attention to what they see here, and we won't have to blow that whistle too much.
No.
Again, thank both of you for coming. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Thanks for having us.
Welcome back to the show. Today, my second guest here today is Kim Bennett from the Laurel Police Department. Improve things to get done in the city in a most efficient manner. And the city purchased a couple, I'm not sure how many, but a few of the new ticket writers. And I asked Kim to come to the show today just to kind of explain what they are and what they look like. Kim, first of all, thanks for taking time out today to come.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here, Richard.
You look a little nervous, but I understand. I know, what do you do for the city? I know you do something in the office, I understand.
Yeah,
that.
my actual title is Services Supervisor, and I oversee many of the civilians who work for the police department. And so one of my primary duties is working with our records unit, and we maintain all the records and information and also handle citizens' issues with parking tickets and things like that.
I'm sure you get quite a few of those.
Yes, we do. We stay very busy, very busy.
Now, the city purchased some new ticket writers. I think you have one right there
Yes.
with you. Can you just kind of show the
Sure.
audience what it looks like? And
It's like a large, old-fashioned cell phone, the original mobile phones. And it does have a workable, usable screen on the front. And we have a little pen that's used, and the officers can then write a ticket. So this makes everything a little more efficient than the old handwritten tickets. However, we still do use the older style tickets for some of the police officers because we only have 4 of these units in the city of Laurel currently. And we hope to increase that number as we find that these become much more efficient and useful.
now I think code enforcement in the back got 3 of those, correct?
Correct.
And then I'm assuming that the
Police department, for our parking enforcer,
got
he
one.
has one, yes.
Now, is the reason why we want these, is it more efficient, to make it easier for you to keep track of what's going on?
It is. It is more efficient on both ends of the ticket issuing piece, where the officer, it makes it more quicker for him to issue a ticket and write it, and the tickets are indestructible. So when we place them on the windshields of vehicles, they don't disintegrate or disappear or become illegible. Then on the back end, the programs that are used in conjunction with these, they're easier to use. It's easier to input data and maintain the records. So it is a little more efficient all the way around.
Okay. Say if I used one of those and I wrote a ticket and I put the wrong charge in or something, which I've done before now, and I post it on a vehicle and somebody comes to you and says, hey, it seems like a lot of money for a parking citation, $100, which
Right.
maybe it should have been only $35 or something. Now, do you have the authority to remove that ticket?
Yes. Now, what happens is the issuing officer or the person who wrote the ticket would inform us and let us know that that citation needs to be voided. You would need to return the original to us, and then we would then void it in the system so that it does not appear for that license plate number.
Now, in the ticket, when I receive a ticket and I have how many days to pay that?
You have 30 days to pay it. After that 30 days, it will get a late fee. The initial late fee is $25. You have another 30 days to pay that, the ticket, the fine plus the fee. If it's not paid within that 60-day time period, you get then what's called a flagging fee of $20. And if once that flagging fee is on there, it sends a notification automatically to MVA to flag the vehicle's registration. And at that point, you cannot renew your registration until all fines and fees are paid.
Ah.
And MVA charges you a $30 processing fee for that function.
Good Lord Almighty, a $35 ticket costs you $100 if you
Yes.
don't straighten it out.
Yes.
Now, say I didn't think I was in the wrong, do I have a right for an appeal?
Yes, you do. You can request a court hearing. You must do that within 15 days of the issue date of the ticket. And so that is, all that information is input on the back of the citation. It tells you how to do it. You can either drop it off at the police department, or you can mail it into our vendor, which handles that information.
Now, when I get the ticket, I can just mail the check right to the city, or can I come, where would I go to pay it?
Well, now we do not accept payments at the City of Laurel Police Department. All that is handled by our outside vendor in New York.
Oh, okay.
And so you would simply either go online, or you can pay by telephone, or you can mail your payment in. If you pay by credit card, that's for your online payment or your phone payment. You can use Visa, MasterCard, Discover, and PayPal. This company actually accepts PayPal.
That's got to make it a little bit easier for you.
Yes, a lot
than
easier.
Some of the people working there.
Yes.
Because I know a couple times I've been down and running some tags and stuff, and I can hear the people talking about, well, we don't accept payments here for this or that.
Correct.
Now, if I get say like a red light camera, does that go to somebody else too?
Yes, for our red light camera and our speed camera tickets, those are also handled by outside vendors. So we are no longer taking payments at all at the Laurel Police Department.
Now, the red light cameras, do you get a lot of complaints on that? I mean, as far as like, I was just sitting there and that thing went off. Because I notice sometimes I'll sit at an intersection, I'll see people sitting there, and this thing will just start flickering. I'm like, oh man, you know.
We've had some people complain about that. Usually if there's any sort of movement from a vehicle, it will trigger the camera, and we have what's called a two-camera process. So once a car is moving toward the intersection, if it has, it determines how slow you're going to determine whether you're going to stop or whether you're going to turn.
Oh, okay.
So it initially takes the picture while you're still in motion, and then if you go around that corner, the second camera catches and it takes the tag number.
Ah.
So that's why a lot of people complain. We're seeing that the camera flickering off and on, off and on. But also that same camera is also detecting people who are going straight through the light or making a left turn once the light is turned red.
I mean, them things are beneficial. You know,
They really are.
I worked in the fire service for a number of years and been on many accidents where people run the lights, and you know, it's a shame.
Yes, yes.
And how about the speed cameras? Does that go to somebody too?
Yes, that goes to one of our vendors in Hagerstown, Maryland.
Yeah, that's good to know.
Yeah.
I know we get quite a few of those in Laurel.
We do. We do.
Now, I don't know if it's true or not. And I don't know if you can really say anything. And I understand if they're close to the schools. I understand that because it makes sense. But are they operational 24 hours or just during school hours or holidays or something like that?
As I understand, they're operational during certain periods of the day.
Okay.
Generally, I believe it's after 10 p.m. I can't swear to this. I have to check that. And then it becomes operational again after 2 or 3 a.m. So there's a time frame where it is running continuously.
Oh, okay.
And then there's a time when it does stop.
Now, if you run a red light, it costs you like $75, doesn't it?
Yes. Running a red light is a little higher in the fine than a speeding ticket. I think there's a bigger safety issue involved, because once the red light turns red, you no longer have the right of way, and someone else could be moving based on their
Right.
green light.
Right.
So there's a higher probability for probably for collision or hitting a pedestrian, because also you have to give pedestrians right of way. So for instance, a lot of people, we get a high number of people getting a right turn on red citation. And they understand the law based on the name, but the name of the law is not the operation of the law. So it's called a right on red law. And this law is in place in Maryland and all 50 states in the US. So when people come to the intersection, they're supposed to stop at that white intersection line, not the line where the pedestrian crosswalk is, but the intersection line determining where the traffic needs to stop. So they had to stop just like they would if it was a stop sign or a flashing red light, because they have to honor that red light. They no longer have the right of way. Once you've stopped, and it has to be a dead stop, not a rolling or slow go stop. And a lot of people do that, and they'll say, well, I put my brakes on. Braking does not indicate stopping.
Right.
Stopping means no motion. If there's motion, that camera will catch you no matter how slow that motion is. So we suggest people stop, apply the brakes firmly, count to about 4 or 5, and then proceed. And
okay.
with making sure that you're clear to make that progression around the corner.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Maybe it helped me.
It's helped a lot of people. Once they understand the law, they're more forgiving of us and themselves,
right.
and recognizing this is a safety issue. This is not about the city making money, because we want them to keep the money in their pocket. We want them to obey the law, though.
Right.
And it is a law that they have to follow.
Makes sense. But back to those writers, though.
Yes.
So you think they're going to be sufficient, or?
I think they're going to be very helpful. One of the things for us in the office when we're looking at the tickets, when we used to have to input the data, it was very hard to read because handwritings vary across the board, and some people are very neat, and some handwriting look more like doctors. Writing prescriptions. Yeah. So this is very helpful because it's imprinted and it's printed information.
So make it a lot easier
yes,
to back up there.
Yes, less opportunities for errors. Yeah.
Well, Kim, I really appreciate you coming today. I know you're busy down there at the police station, but again, thank you for your time. I really appreciate that. And
thank you so much.
It's good to let the citizens know what we're working with.
Yeah, it's a great instrument. It's a great instrument.
I'm looking forward to using that myself.
Yeah.
Used it a couple of times already, but seems like a good unit.
Yeah, I think it will make it easier for citizens as well, because one of the issues a lot of people were bringing up on the old system was, well, don't you have payment of capabilities online or by phone? And we didn't. It was all in person or by mail. So now we have all three.
That's good to have that.
Yeah.
That makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Again, Kim, thanks a lot. I appreciate you coming.
All right, thank you so much, Richard.
Thank you.
Good.
Thanks.
Have a good one.
In our next segment here, we're going to talk to somebody from code enforcement. I have Justin Burris coming in today. He's going to talk to you a little bit about grass. It's that time of the year where the grass is getting high, especially with all this rain we've been having. Look like we've got a monsoon going on out there. Cars, things that we're looking for. We look on the street or in the driveways. Trash that's around. We get a lot of calls on that. And sometimes people ask us, who's complaining and stuff like that. The code enforcement people don't get that information, and he'll explain a little bit about that. Welcome back. My third guest today is Justin Burris from the Fire Marshal's office. Justin is a code enforcement specialist with the city. If you talk to my wife, she'll tell you Justin is an adopted grandson because they all look alike. Maybe it's just his size and my size. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. But Justin, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
How long you been working for the city now?
It'll be going on 2 months here coming up soon. Actually, well, 2.5.
And have you enjoyed it so far?
It's been a good spot. I like it.
Now, as the code enforcement specialist, what is your job? What do you do?
So we enforce all regulations, exterior, maintenance, stuff like that. Big thing now we're pushing is the grass, abandoned vehicles. Got to have tags on your cars, valid tags. Can't have flat tires, stuff like that. And we follow up with any complaints we receive also. That ends up in our office as well. So
it's enough to keep you busy.
Pretty busy.
When you're out on the street, what are some things you're looking for when you're out riding around?
Especially this time of year, grass is a big thing. Anything over 8 inches, you got to cut it. And a lot of times it's, we're not out measuring for it, but a lot of times you drive by and you see it, it's tall. A lot another thing is too, is if you see it, a car that's flat tire, anything like that, we look for that. But this time of year especially is grass, stuff like that.
Now, so if you ride by my house and the grass is 12 inches high, you write me, what is it, a correction order?
Yeah, it's going to be a property violation. Just a yellow form you're going to get, have your address. It'll have the code section with the city code on it, and what the infraction was, which it'll be circled with, excessive height in grass, and it gives you your time frame to cut it, which in the city's 3 days, with my name, my ID number, and a phone number to contact the office if you have any questions.
Now, what happens after that 5 days or 3 days and I don't cut it?
So after that, we do our best to try to contact the owner or whoever lives at the property to say, hey, you got to cut the grass. But if we don't get a response or they don't do it within the time frame, we turn it into Park and Recreation to cut it, and the city takes ownership of the grass and they come out and cut it.
Oh, that sounds kind of expensive.
It's a little pricey.
Yeah. Now, as far as vehicles, you said something about current tags and flat tires. What's that mean?
Current tags, if your vehicle's parked on a city street, anywhere on a city street in the city, it's got to have current license plate tags. It's got to have tags in general, and it's got to have current tags. So it has to be of May of 2018 as of now. But you got to keep current registration on the vehicle, and it's got to be operable. It has to have 4 pumped up tires. It can't be disassembled. It can't be in non-working order if it's parked on a city street.
And I guess the city just does this to keep the neighborhood looking good.
Yeah, we do our best to try to keep unwanted cars and stuff off the city street. And it's okay to have them in a garage, but they can't be parked on a city street.
So near, if I had a car parked in my driveway, I have to have current tags on
Has
it?
to have current tags and has to be operable. Yep. Yep.
Now, if they are not, and you give, I'm assuming you give them a time frame to get that taken care of?
Yep. That's in the city. That's 5 days to get it taken care of. And if it's not done within the time frame, we again try to contact the owner, have them either remove the car or get it into working order. If not, then we have the right to tow it at the owner's expense.
Now, I know you said you left your name, your ID number, and a phone number. So say, because of the rain, you know, it's been raining like it has for days and days, I might not get a chance to cut the grass. And you guys, I'm sure, get a little leeway on that.
Yeah.
But if I need more time, is that something I can call you and say, hey, look, I'm not going to be able to get it today, but I can get it Saturday or something? Is that acceptable?
Oh, absolutely. As long as you call us and you keep us in the loop, you let us know what's going on. It's absolutely okay for you to give us a call and let us know, you know, hey, I can't get it today because of the rain, or I can't get it because, you know, my lawnmower's not working. But if you give me a time frame and say I can have it cut by, you know, if today's Tuesday, have it cut by Friday, it's normally not a problem.
Yeah. But I mean, I guess the biggest thing is you issue the citation as a courtesy, and then in respect, you like the courtesy back to saying, I can't do it this time, but I can do it then.
Absolutely.
Or I'm getting tags just coming in or something like
Yep,
that.
absolutely.
So you get quite a few of these calls every day?
For the most part, we try to aim for anywhere from 7 to 10 a day. Cars, you know, this time of year is not a, that's kind of falls below grass because the city's, you know, is looking just for compliance with the grass height and stuff like that. So that's the big thing they push for now.
And we just talked to Kim from the police department, and she was explaining about the ticket writers. Was one of those issued to you?
Yep, I do have one. There's 3 in our office. I'm in the, you know, fire marshal's office, and then the parking enforcer for the police department has one as well.
How about trash issues? Is that something you get a lot of complaints on as well?
You know, here and there. You know, for the most part, we get them for trash in the backyard or trash from the side of the house. And a lot of times it's from, you know, remodeling work, or, you know, they had somebody move out. But, you know, you can't store any household trash or anything like that. And excess is the big word on the side of the house. 1 or 2 bags is okay, but anytime it becomes excessive is when it's citable.
Now, say my neighbor's not keeping his yard clean or something, and I want to remain anonymous so nobody knows it was me calling. Is that something that you can keep under your hat? You know, I'm trying to get it done, but I don't want him to be mad at me because I called in on him.
Absolutely. We never, at least myself, I never, you know, anytime a complaint comes into my desk, it's anonymous from the get-go. So I don't have any names, phone numbers, emails, anything like that. I just have information on what the call, you know, what the complaint, you know, is, and I just go out and I follow up with it and we get it taken care of.
Now, what other things do you all do back in the fire marshal's office back there?
Code enforcement side, you know, we do parking citations, you know, the trash, the grass. We also deal with the, you know, rentals in the city, the housing inspections, commercial buildings, all that type of stuff, the inspections of them, you know, so.
Now, people, and I know in the city, if you rent a property, you have to have a license.
You do.
And they can get that from your department?
Absolutely, yep.
Oh, okay. Well, I want to thank you for taking time to come out and talk to us today. I think it's important for people to understand exactly what we do here. Because I know I don't like secrets. I like to know what's up.
Yep,
And
absolutely.
I appreciate you coming out.
Thank you for having me.
Well, that wraps up our show for today. Our safety tip for this session is, remember, as always, I talk about it every time, is to check those smoke alarms. You got to have a functional smoke alarm. You need to have the 10-year sealed units in your house. If you have one that's less than 10 years old, you can still use that, but make sure you replace the batteries twice a year, in the spring and in the fall. Like Justin just said, it's that time of the year the grass is growing. You know, keep that down. Check your power mowers, your weed eaters, anything like that, and make sure they're still functional proper. Make sure there's nothing loose on it or the blade's going to come off or anything like that. If you're out cutting grass, please make sure you wear shoes that don't have any open toes, and always respect the rules of that machine that you're using. The city of Laurel last year purchased a fire extinguisher training kit. It teaches people how to use fire extinguishers. We have a little lecture, and then the prop itself actually has some fire to it. You actually get a chance to use the fire extinguisher to extinguish the fire. If there's any groups or organizations out there would like to set up an appointment to use this prop, feel free to give us a call at the Fire Marshal's office at 301-725-5300, and we'll be happy to get back to you and set up a date to do this demonstration. And let your people have some hands-on training. It's very important to do that. A lot of people see the fire extinguishers hanging on the wall, have no idea about how to use them. And we're trying to get away from that. On May 10th, we just had our awards ceremony, our program. I'd like to dedicate this show today to all the recipients who received awards at that program. I especially like to offer Mike Green a special congratulations. Mike had over 40 years, and he's going to retire at the end of June of this year. Mike's the Deputy Director of Personnel. Mike's very dedicated to that job, has been for years. I've known Mike for a number of years. I've been working in the city myself now for 10 years and had the opportunity to work with Mike on some things. And Mike, you sure will be missed, and we wish you the best on your retirement. Thank you. And again, I'd like to thank all my guests for today. Without them, I wouldn't even have a show. So again, thank everybody for coming out today. And we'll see you the next time on the Fire Marshal's Corner.